Welcome to Seth Vidya Mandir Junior College of Commerce and Science online audio video lecture. This is Alka Chaube explaining the next chapter, that is chapter number 14, Dual Nature of Radiation and Matters. Welcome back students. Let's move on the de Broglie hypothesis. De Broglie hypothesis is invented by the year of 1923, and the de Broglie is also has invented the concept about the wave is matter. And according to de Broglie hypothesis, matter in motion can be treated as a wave. Yes, students, the de Broglie has assumed matter in motion can be treated as a wave, and that is what the de Broglie hypothesis is talking about. So let us understand, because the de Broglie has assumed when the particle is traveling, it's form a wave, and the wave is having their own wavelength. So de Broglie wavelength is we are taking as a lambda, and the lambda is equal to h and v, because h is a Planck constant, m is what mass of particle, and v is the velocity. So according to the condition, lambda is equal to h and v, and your h is the Planck mass of particle and your v is a velocity. So this assumption has taken by the de Broglie wavelength, because de Broglie is considered when the particle is start to move, the particle is moving, it's having some velocity, and the particle is having some wavelength, and this condition when the particle is traveling, the two successive wave is nothing but the lambda wavelength of that particle. So according to this condition, we are getting this condition, and here you know it very well, that is lambda is equal to hp, as already Einstein has considered this condition, that is lambda is equal to hp, where p is a linear momentum of particle. As you know very well, student, the particle is traveling in a straight line direction, so we are considered here linear momentum of the particle, and here we have the energy Planck constant, and here the wavelength of that particle. As we know very well the momentum formula, because students here it is considered when the particle is traveled, it's having some momentum. Yes, student, the de Broglie hypothesis is considered in this way: any particle is moving, it's having mass or velocity, so we consider that momentum. So p is equal to mv, so v is equal to p by m. So here we are getting the kinetic energy, and when the particle is moving, it's having their energy. This energy is nothing but the kinetic energy, that is 1/2 mv square. And here, according to this condition of momentum, we already got it the value of velocity formula. So here we have the velocity, that is p by m, that is we are taking here squaring. So here we are getting p square m square, m get cancelled out. So here we are getting 1/2 p square by m. So it is very clear about it. When the particle is traveling, it's having their energy, it's having their wavelength, it's having their mass, it's having some velocity. It is according to the de Broglie wavelength here. So here the kinetic energy we are getting 1/2 p square by m, that is p is equal to 2m kinetic energy. So kinetic energy we can consider as an energy, that is p is equal to 2me, and this energy is nothing but the particle energy. As you know very well, student, the particle having number of protons and electrons. So this momentum is considered as a proton and electron, and here also we know it very well according to the condition of Einstein, as you know very well in the initial video, that is energy is equal to h mu, and the Einstein energy, that is any particle energy, is equal to mc square. So this condition when we are taking equation 1 and 2, when we are equating here, so in the place of E we are getting h mu, in the place of E we are getting mc square. So here we are getting the value of mu, because students, as you know very well, when the particle is traveling, it's having it's a wave, it's having their frequencies, and the mu is denoted by the frequency of the particle of the wave. So here mu is equal to c lambda, because c is equal to mu lambda. So here we are getting mu is equal to c lambda. So you can see here, because the particle is nothing but the matters, and matters is the light wave, so c is equal to mu lambda. So here we are getting mu, and here we can substitute the value of mu, that is h is equal to c lambda in the place of mu, and mc square is as it is. So here we are getting the value of wavelength, that is lambda is h by mc. You can see here that cc get cancelled out, so lambda is equal to h by mc. So here we are getting students very well, as you know very well, the c is nothing but the speed of light. So in the place of c we can consider the velocity. So that is lambda is equal to h upon mv, and here we are getting the formula, that is lambda is equal to h mv, and here students h mv, that is mass of velocity, we know it very well, that is what? Momentum. So here we are getting hp, so lambda is equal to hp. So this whole concept has invented by the de Broglie, because de Broglie is considered the when the particle is traveled, it is behave like a wave, and the wave is uncertainty principle. The particle is moving in it is placed in any direction of this wave, and when it's moving, it's having velocity, it's having mass, it's having wavelength. So here we are getting the formula of momentum, here we are getting the formula of velocity also, and here we are getting the formula of frequency, and here we have the formula of wavelength, that is h is, so the h is as it is, and the value of p, as we know very well, that is root of 2me, here we are getting. So we can substitute, the whole concept is here root of 2me. So here we can consider directly in this condition, that is in the place of p we can substitute root of 2me, and as you know very well students, we can consider this whole concept here in the case of electron or proton. So lambda is equal to h root of 2m mass of electron, and here when we are providing the potential across the any particle, when we are producing like photoelectric effect, as we know very well, we are providing their potential. So when we are applying their potential, the kinetic energy is equal to EV, as we know very well in the Einstein equation. In the place of kinetic energy, that is EK is nothing but the kinetic energy, so we can place there in the place of EV. So here we have the wavelength of the de Broglie wavelength, that is h is equal to root of 2me, and electron and velocity, and here the formula it's clear, that is h is equal to root of 2me. So when we have the wavelength of electron, we can take this formula as an electron. When we have the wavelength of proton, we can take this formula as a proton. So here we have the de Broglie wavelength students, and this wavelength is very important. So here we have the question based on de Broglie wavelengths, that is question number 14, and the de Broglie wavelength is associated with the electron and proton are the same. It means students, the wavelength of proton and electron are same here, and here we have to find out the ratio of the momentum of proton and electron, and here we have to find out the kinetic energy of proton and electron. So here we have to find out these two ratios of proton and electron. So let us go for the solution. So let's move on the numerical based on this concept, and here I am taking question number 14 solution. So as you know very well, what is the question number 14? So let us move on the first given. The given is here we have the wavelength of electron and proton, and we have to find out the ratio of proton and electron in their momentum and the energy, kinetic energy of proton and electron. So here we can write the kinetic energy of proton and electron, that is EU. And after that students, let us move on the formula. As you know the formula of momentum, that is P is equal to H lambda. So here I am taking the momentum for electron, so we can take, that is PE is equal to H lambda E. In this way this formula also we can convert in the case of proton also. So here the momentum formula and the wavelength formula, H is equal to root of 2 me, where E is the energy, mass, and this formula is also divided into two parts, the mass of electron, the wavelength of electron, and the wavelength of proton, and this formula is also divided, the momentum of electron, the momentum of proton. So here we have the calculation, and let us move on the calculation. So in this calculation students, we have the wavelength of the ratio of proton and electron is equal. So according to the given condition, the wavelength are equal here. So with the help of this wavelength students, we can first write the ratio of proton and electron momentum, and momentum formula H lambda E for proton, and same formula we are using for for electron, and same formula we are using for proton. So H lambda E, and when we are taking ratio, that is lambda P upon H, and H, as you know very well, that is known as Planck constant. So HH get cancel out, and proton momentum and electron momentum and proton momentums are here, and it is divided by this wavelength of proton and wavelength of electron. As we know very well, initially it is instruct in the question that is wavelength of proton and electron both are equal. So in this place we are placing in the place of proton the value of electron, the wavelength of electron. So when the wavelength are both are equal, so here we are getting the ratio of their momentum of proton and electron is 1. So here we had done the first condition to find out the momentum ratio, that is 1. And now let us move on to their wavelength and to find out their energies ratio. So the formula is here, wavelength is equal to lambda is equal to proton h to root of 2 m e, that is mass of proton, and here the electron, that is we are taking the energy of electron, that is p here. So and here the wavelength, that is h2me, and that is this, and here we are using the energy of electron. Clear? So after that we are taking the ratio of this. When we are taking the ratio, h root of 2 m p m mass of electron, mass of proton, and energy of proton, and here the energy of electron, energy of mass of electron, energy of electron divided by Planck constant. In both the condition, Planck constant, the constant get cancel out, and after that students, you can see here we are getting this ratio. When we are, as we know, the wavelength are equal, so ratio is always 1, because in the place of this we are putting the value of lambda e. So the cancellation we are getting here 1, and then after, as you know very well, when we are taking the squaring both the side, we are getting 1 ka square 1, and after squaring the 2 is get cancel out, and we are getting this condition because we want the energy ratio. So energy of proton and energy of electron. So here we are getting mass of proton, mass of electron, because here it is in multiplication form. When we are taking this condition, students, we know very well the electron energy and mass energy here in the multiplication, and here you can see the multiplication condition are present here. Then after, the mass of proton is 9.1 into 10 to minus 31, and the mass of electron is, as you know very well, 1.6 into 10 to minus 27. So when we are going for the calculation of this term, students, so we are taking first the resolution of their power. So the mass of electron upon mass of proton first I considered here. When we are going in the resolution of their power, so you can see here the 1.6 multiplied by 10 is to minus 7, 27 plus 31. As you know very well, here minus 31 we can take here, that is minus 31 is already present. No, we are taking the, now we are taking electron value, and here we are taking proton value, energy of proton and energy of electron. So here I am taking the reciprocal of their ratios. So when we are taking reciprocal of their ratios, so 1.6 in numerator and 9.1 in denominator, because students, you can see here we are taking E, that is energy of electron and energy of proton. So in this condition 9.1, 1.67. But here in this condition we are taking upon that is proton and electron kinetic energy, because here you can see we want this ratio, proton and electron. So here 1.6, 10 is to minus 27 plus 31, that is already, it is correct initially, and then after divided by 9.1, because 9.1 ratio we are taking in reciprocal. When we divide this condition, students, we are getting 1837. So that is the ratio of electron, energy of proton and energy of electron ratios, we are getting this value. So here we have the solved example, and this solved example is based on the photoelectric effect, students, and the photocell also we can say. The wavelength and the intensity of incident radiation, that is lambda, is 4000 angstrom, and the power or source of light, that is 0.1 watt. And here what will be the minimum change of light energy, and what is the number of incident photons, we have to find out in this question. So let us, so here we have solution, that is the intensity of incident radiation is, the power is 0.1 watt and the wavelength, that is 4000 angstrom. And as you know very well, angstrom when we convert it into length, that is into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So after that, students, here we have the formula of energy that is given by Planck's, that is E is equal to h mu, and your mu value we can take C by lambda because C is equal to mu lambda. And the value of h, that is Planck constant, 6.63 into 10 raised to minus 34. Students, if this value is given, it's okay, otherwise you have to remember this value in the board exams, because you always remember the Planck constant value. The unit is joule into second, and the speed of light is 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second, and the given wavelength is 4000 angstrom into 4000 into 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So when we calculate, we are getting 4.97 into 10 raised to. So we have to find out the value of number of photons. So to find out the value of number of photons, students, we have to divide the power and energy. Yes, so power is, light is 0.1 watt, and the energy we already got it, 4.97 into 10 raised to minus 19 joule. So here we are getting 2 into 10 raised to 17 number of photons is fall on metal surface. So here we have the 10 photons per second, that is approximately equal to 10 raised to 9 here will be required. So here we have the photons, and that we cannot see by the human eye, students, so we can count by using this formula to find out the number of photons when it is ejected on metal surface. Let's move on the concept of photoemissive cell or photocell. So let us understand how the photocell works. So as you know very well, students, what is the working of photoelectric effect? The photoelectric effect and photocells, photoelectric effect application is nothing but the photocell. And as you know, photocell is a device, and how it's work, when the emission of light, it means when the light sources fall on the metal surface eject the electrons, and because of that motion of electrons, the photocell works. So let's move on the application of photocells. The first application is to count the vehicles passing on a road. Yes, students, there we are using the photocells, and the count the items of running on the conveyor belt. As you know very well, we are using in airports, and the opens door automatically in buildings such as bank and other commercial buildings or office. In malls also we are using photocells. To operate the burglar alarm, we are using the photocells there. And to produce the sound in movies also we are using the photocells, and the photocells are using in so many purpose, and to operate the switches by the sensor also we are using the photocells, and for the robotic system also, students, we are using the photocells application there. So here, students, we have some observation, and according to the scientist observation, the wave theory of light is not agree with the photoelectric effect, that is photons natures, and here we have some differences in wave theory of light having their own observation, and in photons also they are having own observation. So let us go and understand, students. The first observation is talking about the electron are emitted as soon as the light incident on metal surface. So the wave theory of light is considered the very low intensity is needed to emission of electron, but in photons, students, you know it very well, the photons is needed to eject one electron of metal surface. One photon eject one electron, and the energy exchange between electron and photons because of collision, as you know very well. So here you can see both having their own different assumption. So let us move on second observation. The second observation, when very low intensity of light incident is also sufficient generate photoelectric current, that is the observation. But in wave theory, low intensity should not give photocurrent. The assumption has taken in wave theory, but in photons, the low intensity incident on metal surface, it emits the less number of photons, and less number of energy of photons is happen very low intensity of radiation of light is fall. So here also you can see the different more number of photons and incident unit time, and therefore the more number of electrons are emitted in unit time, hence the photo current is large. It means the assumption in unit time has been considered. So in this way, students, we are getting the different observation, and the different observation in wave theory of light and photons having the different opinion about. And that's why the wave theory of photons, that is the photon and electron theory, has failed to explain the wave theory of light concept. So here the differences you can read and understand. Thank you very much.